walk in fear. They don't close down whole cities. And that's what they're going to do. So the people have to stand up, regain their dignity, and this could be a revolution of the mind. That's
it doesn't need to be violent.
The only way we'll be successful, because if people are going to resort to violence, it's doomed to failure. You're not going to beat the Gestapo, the goons, and you can see what they do. I mean, we saw that body armor they had on. It was 1984.
Right. What they're planning on doing, and this is the thing, they want to ante it up, just like if they want to have a test at one of these checkpoints they want to set up. They're doing tests here just north of me here at Pendleton. They want to set up so they can do a test on a major freeway, whatever. It's there so that the public will get so enraged they'll attack these people. Then they'll really come out. They'll come out with LRAD, sound cannons, pepper spray cannons that can shoot 4,000 rounds in seconds to a whole crowd, directed energy weapons, predator drones that have been testing on the poor populations that are having wedding parties in Pakistan, so they blow the wedding party apart. That's what they want to do to the American public. But all we need is numbers. If we have the numbers that are in the Pentagon, in the military, in the civilians, in big business, and we're not just talking about Mr. Sally Soccer Mom and Joe Sixpack, we're talking about a cross-cut of every culture and every group of people, including we're up to billionaires. We're all at risk here.
That's right.
That's the problem, is people need to realize that it's not just America, it's across the world. Once we get numbers, it's over.
It's over, exactly. That's what the people don't realize. I met an older gentleman who left with the first Czech, when it was Czechoslovakia, when the Russians clamped down. And he said there were so few party members. He said it was ridiculous. If only the people would have fought. But they didn't. They didn't stand up. They were afraid. And we saw with the Velvet Revolution later on how easy it really was when enough people say no. Again, how could I want to make this really clear, because no one understands this. George Bush, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, they're not my leaders. They're politicians. They couldn't lead me across the street. And when people get this in their heads that all these people are they say that politics is Hollywood for ugly people. That's what it is. It's show business for ugly people.
Right.
And when people stop looking up to these people and look within themselves to find the truth, then and only then will we have an America that is still based on what our founding fathers wanted, and when we were the most egalitarian nation on earth. When we had Main Street, not Wall Street. When we had mom-and-pop stores, not Walmarts. When we had family farms, not factory farms. When we regain America, then we will be great. But the people better get into shape spiritually, emotionally, and physically, because without it, we're doomed.
And by the way, when we're talking about spiritually, throw off the shackles of Babylon of most of the public religions there that tell you that Romans 13, if you're Christian, or any other, quote, scripture or stupid document suggesting that government's always right. You need to find out, number one, use your intellect, and then just sit there and be quiet and pray and say, is this right or what? At the end of the day, it's you and God. It's you in the end of your life, in the last breath. Even if you don't believe that there's a life after this, you've got to face yourself at the end of your days and say, did I do what was right, not just for myself, but the people I loved? And that's what's counting here. We have a civilization in death throes because of the greatest sin, which is apathy. It's always somebody else that's going to fix the problem for them. They don't feel that they have to develop a whole new business model to survive what's coming. Most of the jobs, I believe, in this country will be gone in a few years at the rate they're going.
Well, look at the jobs that we have, for God's sakes. I mean, how about you want to work at a 7-Eleven? How about checkout counter at Walmart's? Or how about flipping burgers at McDonald's? I got a better one for you. How about a great job in health care, a home health aide or a nursing home? There's a job waiting for you at $7.50 an hour.
Well, you know, I talked to a British doctor years ago when they brought in national health care, and he was a triple specialist in internal medicine, dermatology, and allergy, and he told me that he left Britain when he realized that the cleaning staff and the support staff making the meals got more than the entire nursing and medical staff in the hospitals. And he realized that it wasn't a matter of more dollars. It was a matter of priorities. Personally, I think that what we've got is a system that's completely upside down. The entrepreneurs that develop things, the small businessmen that should be supported in your town or city, the people that are bringing up the new ideas, which is why big companies from Japan and elsewhere come over to our trade shows of some guy in Ohio that's developed a flat screen TV. The Japanese buy up the world trade rights, and years later they're making millions of these flat screen, plasma screen TVs, making billions of dollars from our ideas because we had the culture to develop it. That culture is going. The idea of free speech, the idea of free thought, the idea of being an entrepreneur. We don't want our children to think that it's moving up if you get a job taking the orders at a window of a fast food joint or working as a jackbooted thug for the new police, that the highest job you can get is wearing a Darth Vader outfit and stomping on someone's neck. That's not what you call upward mobility.
No, that's you got it. That's not it at all.
Yeah, but that's what they want to do. They want to put that in the culture that the police state is the ultimate business.
Yeah, and that's what they've. Look what I just was up in Toronto, and then from Toronto I had to go to Florida, and what a difference looking at the Canadians and how well dressed they were, the shape that they were in, and then going into the Fort Lauderdale airport on a Sunday morning. What a bunch of slobs! People should be ashamed of themselves walking around like that in public and behaving the way they do. I remember when people, and I'm old enough to remember, when people had dignity and respect and dressed the part. I remember flying in airplanes when you wore jacket and ties and you were respectful. And now people get in there, grown men, with sandals on, taking their shoes off and perching them up on the seat in front of them or sticking them in the seatmate's face next to them. My God, what's happened to this country? So until we regain our dignity, respect for ourselves and for others, we're doomed to failure. But having said that, we can also regain the greatness of this country when we bring back Main Street, not Wall Street, mom and pops, not Walmarts, and family farms, not factory farms.
Exactly. And I guess the next word when we get you back is we need to start to make sure these politicians can't go back to the district or criminals. And with all the actions, including this latest one by the usurper and chief, we need to start some form of impeachment of this president before he does even more damage before the midterms. Amazing. Go to trendsresearch.com. Trendsresearch.com is their phone number as well, Gerald, where they can order your newsletters.
Yes, it's 845-331-5282, or go to our website, trendsresearch.com.
Thanks very much, Gerald. We'll be back in a moment with Freeman. You don't want to miss it. Thanks very much. Amazing analysis. Take it to heart, and that's what it means, to your heart, not just to your mind. Back in a moment with Freeman and much more coming up in Hour 3, Robert Felix. Don't want to miss it.